Good morning. I am Mr. E. Welcome to the weekly Crimecast. Today is July 11th, 2025. Let's get started.
Launch sequence activated. Prepare for light speed.
Intelligent, keeping the missing relevant with Mr. E, Mrs. E. Let's not forget the sweet and E, and of course the best grand E, unraveling these mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the weekly Crimecast. Good to see everybody here. Is it just going to be me going solo today? Or are we joining? All right, great. So I am joined, of course, by Mrs. E and our guest, Auntie. How are you doing this morning, Auntie?
Good. Kind of crazy at my house this morning. Just a lot of stuff going on, but I think it's going to level out here soon.
Okay. Why is everything crazy? Just a lot of people.
Our cleaning lady was here. We're supposed to have them come and do our annual checkup on the air conditioner, and my husband had a doctor's appointment. So we just had a lot of stuff going on, and morning is kind of crazy for us sometimes because that's our busy part of the day.
Right. Just a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff like that. So let's welcome everybody that's here. A lot of our favorite people, and so good morning, Mama and Angel Wings, Charlie, Sharon Marlowe, Rose Wilkinson, Rhonda Smith, Panda Bear's mom, D White. I saw Real Me Too somewhere. Lisa B Always, Rosebud. So good to see everybody joining us here. So we've got a ton of stuff that we want to get into today. We're kind of going to be all over the place as far as different types of stories we're going to be talking about. And I haven't prepped the ladies here too much with the stories, so we'll kind of get your real-time reactions to some of these. Of course, I think that's kind of a interesting way to do it. So some of these stories are huge, and some maybe lesser known or lesser reported, but I think are really interesting too. So Mrs. E, you got anything you want to get into before we start here?
Well, I can tell everybody we're in day 2 of our monthly fast. So
we are. Yeah, we did just start that. And this one's actually been
not so bad.
Easiest for me. We're I don't know what 36 hours in or so.
Yeah, we're conditioned now. I think
it's not.
They say it gets easier. The first few are the hardest, and they say it gets easier.
Yeah, I have barely
been hungry.
Been hungry a couple of times. I had a moment, but really it's not been that bad.
Usually if you drink a lot of water, it helps too.
Well, for those of you who don't know, we do a monthly fast for our son, Middle E. It helps with his health and the condition that he is dealing with.
Yeah.
So it kind of every 72 hours when you fast, your cells turn over and the bad cells die off. That's the idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits. It's supposed to reboot your whole immune system. You start kind of eating potential cancer cells.
Yep.
And it's in that third day is supposed to be the critical one.
Yes.
That's where. So although good things are happening today, day 3 is supposed to be the best one as far as like
that's when the magic happens.
That's when the magic happens. Yeah. So anyway, we're doing that. And there's a lot of good benefits.
And we don't have to fast. We do it to support him. Just because his one of his doctors recommended we do this. So
yeah,
it probably helps you guys both as well. I mean,
I was hopeful that I would lose a little more weight doing this, like being in my 5th fast. I would have thought I've lost some weight over the last few months doing this, but not as much as I would have guessed,
If you do the intermittent fasting, you will lose weight.
I know. I've told him this a million times. He can't give up that breakfast.
I love breakfast.
I
I
know,
told him we
but
could have breakfast for lunch, but he doesn't listen to me.
yeah, I mean, and you can cram 2 and 3 meals in and during your non fasting window, and
I'll tell you what's been made it easier is we used to do the bone broth, and we could have bone broth a couple times a day, and I think it made me hungrier having the bone broth than to not have anything at all. So that's just a thought.
I
And
would
then,
think that, yeah, it kind of stimulates your appetite a little bit.
right.
But bone broth has some great medicinal qualities as well.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It's great for your body and cells.
And it's funny because Middle E's already trying to figure out what he wants to eat on Saturday night.
Saturday night, yeah.
And he's very concerned that Five Guys will not be open.
When you're
'Cause
ready.
that's what he loves to have Five Guys after a fast.
So I'm actually going to have to
How do you
go.
all do with your entry meal after you're fasting?
We're terrible.
the
We're
wrong
terrible.
way.
Well, I mean, they always say you should start slow with broth or things like that.
No,
But I think you guys just dive right in. It doesn't seem to bother you.
It's the best that Five Guys ever will
That's
taste.
that's been hit or miss. But so far our tradition's been Five Guys.
Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
all want that
It's like,
big cheeseburger.
It's like the greasy fries and the whole thing is, and it's totally the wrong way to come out of a fast.
It is. It's terrible.
I'm actually going to miss coming back. 'Cause I'm going to be working Saturday night, so I'll have to fast a little longer than everybody else.
Oh, you're good. It's like you get the blue ribbon for that fast.
I know. I'll have no choice. So one of the things we've a lot of you have been sending in suggestions to us on different cases and missing people and things like that to cover, and a lot of these suggestions that our members and subscribers have given have been great. There was of course we did Brian Schaefer, that story, which I really hadn't heard of. I know many of you had, but a really fascinating case that we did on Tuesday, that missing man out of Ohio. Of course, I saw here somewhere Panda Bear Mom had suggested to us the Develin Tate story, and that was fascinating too. So we did a kind of a deep dive on that. We're still in touch with the family there. Looks like we're going to do a follow-up at some point.
I think so.
Because there's a little bit of new information coming out. So we'll
you
do
could
another.
tell them that what about the police, what you found out yesterday.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar, the Develin Tate disappearance, he was 18-year-old autistic male that's been missing now for going on 11 or 12 weeks, April 21st. And he this is in Michigan, and he was seen at a grocery store in the morning. He would generally kind of go about to different stores and visit friends and things like that during the day, and then come home at night, do odd jobs and that kind of thing. And he disappeared. So we did kind of a deep dive on that story. But just talking to the grandmother yesterday, they got his cell phone records released to the police.
That's great news.
Yesterday.
That's great news.
Yeah, so that was really good. So it's very good that they have got that. So hopefully there will be a text, a phone call, something in there that will give them an indication of what might have happened. His phone last pinged in a like a trailer home park, really nice one, like and
it was really a nice park, actually.
Yeah, didn't look like a sketchy area at all. Looked very nice. But that's the last place his phone had pinged, and that's where the dogs had last followed his scent. So hopefully he was meeting someone. There's a text, a phone call, some kind of information in there that's going to break that open for them. So we're praying for that for Tamara and Sabrina. And then they actually also searched their home. So they're continuing to do searches and looking for any possible clues. So anyway, that's kind of the update on Develin there, but we'll revisit that story again at some point. Kind of another. Actually, I'll go ahead and do this instead. Well, anyway, another. I want to do a different update, so I'm gonna pick something else here. So some of you may have heard about this and some of you may not. So there was this is a Smoky Barn. So this is, a lot of people reported on this, but this is Smoky Barn News. Is that showing?
Yes, it's kind of small.
So some of you may not have heard about this, but this was up in Springfield, Tennessee. There was a human leg that had been discovered in Robertson County, which is not that far from where
About
we
30
are.
minutes.
Yeah, about a 30-minute drive. It was found. So I'm going to just read directly from Smoky Bar News. The leg was discovered near Sulphur Creek Memorial Boulevard Bridge, which is across from the pavilion at the Robertson County Fairgrounds, just feet from Springfield's Freedom Fest celebration last night, where hundreds of people were gathered. They closed the Greenway for a time and then reopened it later that day. And so, of course, we're covering tons of missing people, over the years that have happened around Tennessee. So, of course, everyone that has a missing person anywhere near the area is going to be waiting anxiously to see if this is a clue as to what may have happened to a loved one. And this was interesting here. It says how the remains will be identified. When only a portion of a body is recovered, authorities typically begin with forensic examination, including checks for surgical implants, trauma, or distinguishing features. If no immediate leads surface, the remains are then processed for DNA extraction, which is compared against missing person databases or submitted for familial DNA matching. This process can take weeks or even months, depending on lab backlogs and the condition of the sample. As of now, the identity of the individual and the circumstances surrounding the discovery remain unknown. Smoky Bar News will continue to follow this developing story. So that might be a while before we know who that leg belongs to. I might be months,
Right.
if ever, actually. You kind of
Hopefully it'll match DNA for a missing person. I mean, I know that they can cross check that if they have DNA samples from missing people. So maybe.
Yeah. So if you're following missing person cases kind of in that region or, nearby, that'll be something to kind of keep in the back of our mind. We'll try to monitor that if that person is ever able to be identified, of course. So let me pull up so we're going to try to feature a missing person every week. And this was one that was recommended to us. I didn't write down who recommended it. I just wrote down the name, but it was on one of our streams last week. So let me pull her up here. So this is Jennifer Lynn Fay. And she has been missing since November 14th of 1989. And they actually have a age progression photo there. She would be 52 years old today.
Jennifer Lynn Fay.
Yeah, so this is an interesting case, and I know it's an older one, but this is actually one that has potential to get solved. So I'm using a newspaper called The Enterprise as my source for this. So what's kind of interesting is the Department of Corrections there. They did one of those playing card decks with missing people. Have you ever heard of this being done? I've heard of it before.
No, I haven't heard of it.
So they put together like a deck of cards. Yeah. So actually, I'll pull this up here. You kind of see the deck there. So this is her. She's the 4 of spades, Jennifer Fay. And it kind of gives like some details. It says on November 14th, 1989, Jennifer Fay was last seen in the area of Rice's Market, 769 North Main Street in Brockton. Jennifer has been missing since that date. And then it has a phone number to call if you have a tip. So, a very clever idea, I think. And so they've given those out, and they give them out in jails and things like that for the inmates to play these cards, And it has resulted in 80 leads for investigators since they put out that deck of cards.
Wow.
And they said they haven't made an arrest based on any of them, but they have gotten several leads that they believe are reliable and relevant to cases they're investigating.
Wow.
So I don't know if Jennifer Fay is one of those or not. But the situation for her was that on November 14th, 1989, she was supposed to be babysitting her youngest brother and sister. But she wanted to go to a party. So her mom had gone out with friends. She was babysitting. So what she did is she called a cousin to come babysit in her replacement, and left. At some point after she goes to this party, she comes back to grab a jacket, and the cousin sees her then. But that's the last time any family member ever sees her again. Later on, her younger sister, Aubin, who was 12 years old at the time, she remembered that when she came back for the jacket, she had been with a male. And this is around maybe 7:30 or so. And then the kids, they go to bed. And so she said she used the restroom and left, and that was the last that she ever saw her sister. Later on, investigators and police believe that she was last seen at Rice's Market on North Main Street and Emerson Avenue. They were trying to buy alcohol. And then there was a witness that on the way back to the party that they had been at, she had talked to someone in a brown pickup truck, was talking to the driver, and that she seemed sick at some point around that time. So maybe just too much to drink.
Oh,
imagining, possibly. And that's the last time anyone has seen her at all. And one thing that the private investigator says in his quotes, he says, in quotes, "We know that Jennifer never left the city that night. And we know that the people who are responsible for Jennifer's disappearance are also still here in the city." So that sounds like they've got a pretty good idea of who's responsible, right?
Wow.
A possible suspect actually emerged in 2022. His name is Kevin Mailer, and he had been seen with her that night. And this is interesting too. So there's a true crime sports podcaster, works for Barstool Sports. His name is Kirk Minihane, and he did a podcast on Kevin Mailer in connection with another crime, the murder of a man named Kevin Craig in South Carolina in 2019. And the investigator said that podcaster's work was a huge help in them getting a conviction against this Kevin Mailer.
Okay.
So, which is on a side note, kind of interesting to me, because we always kind of hear, can this social media, can these true crime podcasts and things, are they helpful in cases? Are they harmful? In this case, this crime podcaster seems to be responsible for this man receiving some justice, right?
Wow.
Because when these colder cases and such, these true crime podcasters and web sleuths and such, they have more time that they can dedicate, I think,
right,
to a case where
the police are inundated with new cases all the time.
Right. So at least here, this was helpful. And I don't know a lot about this other case, but apparently he had murdered Craig to cover up another disappearance of a different woman named Faith Roach. And so there's some belief that Mailer was one of the last people that saw Faye that night. So he's been a suspect because of, his violent tendency ever since. He's not at this point been charged in her disappearance, but the quote here from Aubin, her sister, is that now that Mailer has been charged with murder in connection with the disappearance of another woman, I hope they'll ask him more about Jennifer, and I hope he'll come forward truthfully about what happened to her. They still do vigils and everything. They did one back in 2020, the mother and the sister. So they are still very much seeking justice for the sister. So anyway, that is, with the man being in prison, Kevin Mailer, if he's connected or knows what happened, there's always a possibility he'll talk.
Right.
Maybe give some information or to try to, or make a deal,
Right.
It's always a possibility if he's connected to her disappearance. So, but of course, if she is still alive, that gives you kind of an idea of what she might look like today. So an interesting case. And
I like that you're doing this. I really do. I like that you're doing this.
Doing a missing person.
Yeah, I do. I think that's good. I think that's good to do that, to kind of highlight us, for the week.
And I wish I could remember who recommended this one to us, but thank you to whoever that was.
Yes, we appreciate you guys and your recommendations.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many stories out there, that.
And I wanted to say, I saw Gypsy in here. Good morning, Gypsy. And there's Ava and YouTuber and Bliss Blessings and Brandy and Indy. Welcome, guys. We're happy you're here. What you got next for us, Mr. E?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of which one I want to do next. Yeah, let's go into Crystal Rogers. Let's do that next.
Auntie, get ready.
Yeah, let me
All
find
right, did you get the timeline I sent you?
Probably not.
I sent it in Crimies from disappearance all the way to conviction, a timeline.
Yeah, guys, we have this little group text that we have, and we call it Crimies.
because we were originally, instead of it being the crime dogs, we were going to be the crimies.
Yeah.
That was the idea. So there's Crystal Rogers there. I do remember you sent that timeline. I forgot to use it though.
I will gather it.
It's a PDF on the Crimies, so you can. It'll be easy to convert it over. But it's the timeline from July 3rd, 2015, when she went missing, all the way to July 8th, 2025, conviction.
So this was, of course, a big case. This was a cold case for a long time because
I really don't think I would call this case cold ever, even over the 10 years. I think they knew from the onset where who was responsible.
Yeah, so it was. I guess you're right. It was active. They were working it. To the public, it probably seemed cold. I guess
it probably did. Yes.
Of course, we talk about this a lot with a lot of these cases with Jack and Lily and Sebastian Rogers.
There's crazy stuff going on with Jack and Lily.
You don't know if cases are going cold, or because there's no way for us to know as the public, really.
Right.
But anyway, so this was the missing person poster back when. Has a lot of the details. Of course, we now believe we know, have a pretty good idea what happened to her because these men have been convicted in connection. So of course, this was in Bardstown, Kentucky. Crystal's car, had been found with her keys and purse and everything inside in 2015 in July, and there have been convictions now.
I mean, her ex-husband or Burkow, he was questioned 3 days. I mean, he was questioned extensively 3 days after the disappearance. So, I mean, I think they knew for sure it was him early on.
Yeah. So here's the boyfriend Hawk. He was on trial this week, and he was originally charged with murder and tampering with physical evidence. The jurors convicted Hawk on tampering and then a different murder charge. They charged him with principal or accomplice. And this is, see, who am I reading here? This is WHAS11.com.
Oh, that's what we grew up with when we were little.
Yeah,
that's one of our news.
We got our snow report.
Yeah. Is this a trusted, worthy news?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was Channel 11, Channel 3.
Channel 30, Channel 32,
32.
And Channel 41.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what they charged, basically they believe he's responsible. This reads, essentially, it means jurors found him guilty of murder, but couldn't determine if he killed Rogers or played a role in her murder, essentially deeming him responsible. So that's why they give him the different charge. Lawson was charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. Jurors found him guilty on both charges. His father, Steve Lawson, was convicted on a similar charge back in May. So they basically deliberated for about 4 hours, and they recommended that they receive the maximum sentence. So Hawk is recommended to receive life in prison. Lawson is looking at 20 years for conspiracy and 5 years for the tampering with physical evidence to run consecutively. And then that sentencing will be on August 21st at 1 p.m. And so it says here that family members could be seen leaving the courtroom, were emotional after the verdict was read. So there's another article here, all from WLKY.
That's Channel 32.
That's 32. Yeah.
And so they're kind of going into where this might all go later.
Somebody's happy this morning.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing because he was not happy yesterday.
Oh.
We can't explain to him when certain you know how the internet is. Sometimes things things you want to see are not there or not available. Sites crash and things like that. And we could not get across to him yesterday that the workers would be fixing it. So,
well, he might need another visit from us. We need to come down for a visit.
I can send him to you. We can meet in the middle.
I don't know if he'd be happy.
Well, we're already going to have one kid out of the house this week. That's stressful to me already. So, For those of you who don't know, Middle E is going to be going to the big NYC. So
It'll be so fun for him.
the hospital selected him as one of 4 kids to go and enjoy a free trip to New York. So he's leaving Sunday, and I'm stressed about it, of course, because he's going to New York City, but he's going to have the best time. They've got the neatest things set up for them. Yeah. It was very kind of them to select him.
Yeah, because they could have picked anybody.
They could have picked anybody out of that whole hospital, and he was one of the 4 they selected. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And
my son loved New York when he was there for the summer that he did a study away thing there in college. Mm-hmm. He absolutely loved it.
I have a feeling he's going to absolutely love it too. He's not going to have it. Everything's very scheduled. He's not going to have the free time that, that would be nice to have, but he's going to get to go to a couple Broadway shows, and he's going to get to go behind the scenes on one of them, which is very exciting. And they're going to meet the NYPD. They're doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. Lots of stuff out on the river.
Yeah. They're going on a cruise.
Beach party stuff, things like that.
Yes. Tons of it's kind of, it's a charity that does this, and they select kids from all these different hospitals around the country and bring them together to do these trips. And when this one came around, they thought he would be perfect for it. And that was, we were very blessed and lucky that he got selected for that.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great.
I'm excited for him.
He'll probably want to move to New York.
That's what I think is going to happen. Actually,
that's what I think.
I think he's going to want to go to a film school or something like that. And
it won't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
won't surprise me at all. And I love it up there. Actually,
I actually do too. It's just I don't think it's something I could do full time. I like to visit it.
No, I wouldn't want to live there, but I do love to go.
We used to.
Yeah. Right now, things aren't the greatest either with all the volatility and stuff. So
we've already been warning him. We're like, if you're near on the subway, do not stand close to the edge.
Right.
Get in the very back.
We had a cousin that was just there this week. They just left.
Yeah.
And so that's neat. I hope to get to go this fall. That's my plan is to go this fall.
Really? Have you've never been?
I have never. I've been to New York State, but I've never been to the city. And I have a friend who has a daughter in.
I know who.
In school there, at one of the universities. And
this is the friend that has likes to stay in very expensive hotels. Right?
Yes. So hopefully we're going to get to go. We were going to go in July, but her plans changed, and I kind of wanted to wait a little bit when it wasn't.
I've been there in July. It's awful.
Yeah. So we're going this fall.
Well, the fall will be lovely.
Yeah, she's
like
invited me to go.
It'll be like when Harry met Sally.
So we're excited.
I'm sure.
But I'd like to take him back. There's so many things I'd like to show him. Like I know we're huge fans of the Beatles in this house, and he would love to go to Strawberry Fields in Central Park, and he would love to see the Imagine.
Have you ever taken him to the Polynesian, to the room where John Lennon signed the dissolution of his involvement with the Beatles?
No.
The Polynesian Resort, where I think it's 1601, is where John Lennon signed his contract to dissolve his relationship with the Beatles.
I did not know that.
Yes, the Polynesian at the Disney World Resort.
Disney World.
Yes,
that's interesting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I think it's 1601. I have to double check the room number, but yes.
You've been, I always joke with him when we're there at Hollywood Studios, because that's where George Lucas signed off that he was selling Star Wars, was at the, what's the name of that restaurant? Brown Derby.
Oh,
yeah. He signed off. That's where he had the meeting with, what's his name? Bob Iger.
Michael Eisner. Bob
Iger.
Bob Iger. Okay.
Meeting,
Eisner was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's where they had that meeting, and that's where he signed away his rights to Star Wars. So
interesting.
Anyway.
Judy C says upstate New York is beautiful in the fall. We're very different than New York City. Oh yeah, no doubt.
See, what I would like to do is take everybody, because I've been up in the Northeast to, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. And I would love to take the family up there. They would absolutely love all those little harbor towns and things that you go through. Actually, Middley and I were talking about Salem yesterday because he read The Crucible.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sorry, I know we're off topic. I know we got to get. He's looking at me like we got to get back on topic.
That's okay.
He read The Crucible, and I was telling him, about Arthur Miller, and we were just talking about different stuff. And he was saying he would really like to go to Salem, and I said, well, when I went, it was very small. It wasn't very touristy. It was a little touristy, but it's not like that now.
Yeah.
Now
That
it's
was
insane.
back before Hocus Pocus.
Yes, it was before Hocus Pocus. So
Yeah, I bet it's crazy.
I bet it's crazy
because
now.
everything's crazier now.
It is.
Everything's more.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can get back on track, but
We can do a tourism spotlight show sometime.
You know how we are. We're big into travel. We love to travel. So
If you think, before we get back into this, if you do think of it, if you wouldn't mind to hit like,
that would be
hit the
lovely.
thumbs up button for
Or
us. That
share.
helps. That kind of stuff helps people find us here in the morning if they're looking for a little true crime update.
Yes.
We appreciate you for doing that.
Some travel talk on New York.
Or if they want that too, so you get both.
Yeah.
Two
You just
for
never
one.
know what you're going to get.
So we've got here. This is a statement from the detective. His name is John Snow. He was the lead detective on Roger's case after she vanished from Bardstown in 2015. An unfortunate name for him, in a way.
His name's John Snow.
His name is John Snow.
That's a great name.
How many times do you think he hears the "you know nothing," John Snow? I bet it is countless times that he has heard that in his life.
Oh,
at
you're
this
making me
point.
laugh. That's funny.
But he says here, a decade later, there's finally some resolve in the mystery he dedicated years to. He was at the courthouse as the verdict came down. WLKY's Alexis Matthews asked him in our exclusive interview whether he felt like a weight has been lifted. So this is interesting. Snow says, "No, I feel like we got a little more to go, a little more to go." Matthews asks, "What does that mean?" Snow says, "You'll see." The next day, WLKY talked to Nelson County Sheriff Ramon Penora, who was just as mysterious, saying the verdict sets the tone and could have a domino effect. So the question, of course, is, so what are they referring to? Possible co-conspirators. For one, the prosecutor referred to Hawk's family members, his mother Rosemary and his brother Nick, as co-conspirators many times during both trials. And Joseph Lawson's lawyer said Rosemary Hawk and Nick Hawk were mentioned more times in the trial than he was. They haven't been charged, but prosecutors asserted heavily that they were involved, and not just in this case. Also, there are several other big unsolved cases from the same town. Roger's father, Tommy Ballard, was killed the year after Rogers disappeared in 2016. He was shot to death while hunting with his grandson. Just after Brooks was charged with Crystal's murder, Young said during a hearing that someone bought a gun that they believe was used to kill Ballard, and the seller of that gun was Nick Hawk using a fake name. That's looks like this is not over. Very likely to have some more trials in connection with this. I am very glad that they were able to get some justice without really ever finding Crystal.
I know, and I mean they're pretty sure they know she's located somewhere on the farm. They had skid loaders and they had access to a lot of things that could have easily made it very difficult to find her body. So I think that and that has pretty much, I think they know where she's at based on testimony and where people said they were and the last time she was seen, that kind of stuff. But I do think that her father, Tommy, and Jason Ellis, the state trooper, I think all of that's connected. And everyone thought that at the beginning, and the stories over the years, just her family, they just wanted justice for her mother, especially. And she had 5 children, just 5 children. So, they're going to have to go their whole lives. And one of them was very young, with the Brooks Hawk. So I know that, their lives have been greatly impacted. So I'm glad to see justice for her family.
Oh yeah. I mean, you get 10 years in, you're wondering if there ever will be.
I mean, I really was, and I'm sure people were starting to wonder, but they had that inclination. They thought that Brooks, Hawk, and his brother, who was also a policeman at the time, they thought that they were totally involved with what was going on.
So my hope at this point is now that they've got 3 of these people convicted with another, I don't know, at least 2 looking at a similar kind of conspiracy charge. Maybe they can leverage that and find out where she is, what happened to her.
Right.
Because I just try to put myself in people's shoes. If I'm one of these conspirators, I'm looking at this going, okay, at first you're thinking they haven't found a body. They're never going to get a conviction against any of us.
Right.
We just stay to our stories and don't talk. And then one person gets convicted and now 2 more.
I hope we see that in other cases.
And now that you see 3 people go to prison without a body. Now, if you're the other 2 conspirators, you're thinking maybe it's time for me to be the one to talk and give up some information, because chances are is that, the trial will go the same way for them.
Right.
So that would be my hope if I'm the prosecutor, the detective, and all that.
I do think this is one to watch because of the fact that they don't have the body to really dig into and understand how they did everything. Unfortunately, they didn't televise it. So there are some good people reporting on it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I will tell you, her father was her biggest advocate at the time, was the most outspoken. He, was out there, is really kind of back before social media became a big thing with true crime. And you didn't really hear it, but he was, every chance he had, he took the opportunity to talk to the media or whoever to get her name out there. And he, it's a small town. Bardstown's a big, small town is what it is. And just talking to people, really, I think he was that big advocate for her, and they needed to shut him up.
Rosebud says that something's moving with Summerwells too. So another case suspiciously looked cold.
I've been hearing some rumblings. Yes.
Well, we know, we talked last week about how Don Wells said that they were out searching a road on their property. Is there something that's happened in the last few days, or is there just kind of rumor?
I think it's just rumor.
I'm gonna look on their X account and see if there's anything while we're talking.
But the fact that they came out to the property, over 4 years later.
Yeah, must have had some kind of big tip.
Reason. You don't do that for no reason. So there's something that they were looking for. So Detective Whisker says justice for all the missing.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Sorry, I got behind in chat. There were a lot of great comments about Bardstown, about New York. I got behind. I was trying to reply to everybody in chat. And Rosebud, we will adopt you if you'd like to be adopted. We can always use an extra set of hands around here. So and good morning, Megan Nels. Is that how you say it?
Megan, I would guess so. Sure.
Megan Nels.
Good morning. And let's see. Yes, Crystal's father did work so hard. You're right. And Auntie, this was very close to Auntie's heart.
Yes, it was very close to where I
lived.
I lived, and it was we had signs in our community all over our area and all the way up the Bluegrass Parkway to Bardstown. It was very, very, very well known. And like I said, they've known the whole time who did it, who was responsible. It just took this long to build the case they needed to get a conviction. And I really do hope some of these other co-conspirators that have known and were hiding information and causing problems for them to be able to locate her. Hopefully they'll siege some justice as well.
So can I say one little quick anecdote about going to Bardstown? So we went to the Mothman Festival in West Virginia, in Pleasant Point, West Virginia once. And we drove through Bardstown on our way there. And, Aunt E, I'm used to the smell of Bardstown, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm used to
sour mash.
Well, we got out of the car and they're like, it smells like whiskey here. And I said, yes, you're in the bourbon capital of the United States or the world, really.
Yes.
They cracked me up because we stopped to get gas and they were all like, what is that smell? I'm like, it's whiskey.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the
it's
sour mash and the whiskey, the barrels, the aging. It's got a very distinct smell, and it's all over the Bardstown area.
yeah, it's not like a faint.
Mm.
I mean,
It's
it's like, man, it
overwhelming.
fills up the car
I
driving
was-
on the highway.
It's
you know?
not like it's not as pungent as like paper mills. That paper smell is horrible. It's not the kind of smell that you're like, oh, but it's strong.
you can definitely tell you're there. I was telling Bullhorn Betty about that at breakfast because she had just gotten back. We were talking about that at breakfast because it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
It's so overwhelming, but
Yeah.
it was funny when we were driving that we pulled over to get gas and he looks at me and he's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Well, it's whiskey. We're in the bourbon capital of the world."
Izzy girl says she lives about 20 minutes from Bardstown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a neat area.
It's
Good morning,
pretty.
Uber. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you, Uber.
Okay. We'll let you get back on track. Sorry.
That's okay, dude. I know you've seen this story about the pediatrician. Auntie, have you seen this one yet?
No, I have not. I think I heard a touch about this, but it may be a different one.
So this is from
Aw.
Court TV. Dr. Niha Gupta was arrested in Oklahoma County, Oklahoma on July 1st and will be extradited to Miami-Dade County, Florida to face charges. Investigators said El Portal police were dispatched to a 911 call at approximately 4:30 a.m. on June 27th, where a child was reported to be drowning in a pool at a short-term rental home. First responders pulled the child from the water, identified as Gupta's 4-year-old daughter, Arya Talathi, and took her to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. Investigators determined that Gupta had traveled with her daughter from Oklahoma City and the two were staying at the rental. According to an arrest warrant reviewed by Court TV, Gupta initially told officers that Talathi accidentally drowned when she slipped out of bed during the night. But an autopsy performed by the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office revealed no water in the child's lungs or stomach. The autopsy determined that Talathi's death was consistent with asphyxiation by smothering, noting signs of trauma inside her mouth. Investigators alleged that Gupta had attempted to stage the drowning.
I didn't know this one.
Oh, you didn't know this? I thought you
No.
knew this one.
Mm-mm.
Gupta was involved in a custody battle with her ex-husband at the time, investigators said. When an officer spoke to the child's father, he said he didn't know that Talathi had been taken out of state. We are disappointed that the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office succumbed to pressure and rushed to judgment, Gupta's attorney, Richard Cooper, said in a statement to WPLG. As a result, a grieving mother who just lost her daughter is in jail. We look forward to a full investigation which will uncover the truth of the matter. She's been suspended from patient care, given notice of termination, no longer seeing patients. And she's been terminated by the University of Oklahoma. So,
Wow.
yeah. So that's kind of amazing. And I've when I was looking this story up, because I was just trying to, I knew I wanted to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of stuff happens a lot, where people will stage drownings of people. So I had to sort through which stage drowning I was trying to find. So horrible, and how often do things like that get staged where people might believe it?
I just can't believe a pediatrician would not think about, the autopsy being done.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
no kidding.
Assuming that she actually did this, just
Okay, well,
because we don't know, we don't really know.
We'll
This is just
this is a theory,
right.
Okay.
So she's just been charged. We don't know what she did. If she did it, it looks like it was maybe not premeditated, moment of anger kind of thing.
I gotcha.
So then if that's the case, and then it happened after she's thinking, how do I
Cover it up.
cover this up? I'll stage a drowning. Maybe it was her best bet at that point.
Uber's asking, do you know what time they found her in the pool? Does it say on there?
She said the girl entered the water at 3 a.m. around 3
Why
a.m.
is it always 3 a.m.?
Well, that's because Deception Detective posted about this. Actually,
Right.
He was like, "What time
That's
do
the
you
time
guess?"
everybody picks.
Yeah. Well, he was like, "What time do you guess this mother claimed her daughter entered the water? 2 a.m.,
Wow.
3 a.m., or 4 a.m.? Because 3 being the liar's number. If you're not familiar, for some reason, when people make up stories, they often say
3.
they use the number 3. I was there for about 3 minutes, or it was 3 hours away, or 3 a.m.
It's like two's too early, 4 is too late. It's like that's the perfect time of the night where almost every person if they sleep in the evening, that they're asleep. So
Yeah, and they don't really know why people pick that number. I guess it just kind of sounds like you're saying, like
It's more than 2.
it's more than 2. It's not
Less
quite
than
5.
5.
It's a believable number.
But it's not.
It's kind of like
Not if you know.
like if you're making up a story about getting jumped. I got jumped by 3 guys, or maybe it was 4 or 5. Maybe it was 2. 3's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like hedging your bets, maybe. But for some reason,
That's Crochet's favorite number. Sorry, Crochet.
Sure it is. Don't believe you.
Are you detecting deception in that answer?
I don't think that's your favorite number.
No, he's kidding.
I'm just joking.
He's kidding. Real quick, Gypsy Hope in the Shadows has been a member for 7 months. I cannot believe that. Thank you so much. And she says, I love you guys so much. Well, we love you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting us that
way.
We
do. We appreciate your support so much. All of our members, we appreciate you guys so much. It really does help us keep going on this stuff. So thank you. And then Rosebud had a suggestion.
I sent that information to our Crimeys text. So
perfect.
It's on there. I put that what she just sent. So if it's one we want to look into, it's on our text message.
Great.
So that does look interesting already.
Mm-hmm. I thought
it might have been Rosebud that recommended the Jennifer Fay. Now that I think about it, I can't remember for sure.
Oh, cool. Nicey Marie went to Bardstown Civil War Cemetery to find her 3rd great grandpa that was buried there.
Wow.
Cool.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get off topic.
It's okay. Bliss Blessing says about this case, in my opinion, shows not premeditated because being a pediatrician, she signs off on death certificates.
Mm-hmm.
She would know what would be listed as the primary cause of death. In my opinion, she was hoping Emmy missed that.
Yep.
Yeah, that you would just believe the story because it's believable. Your 4-year-old, other than maybe the time of night,
Rosebud says that's the witching hour.
Yeah, 3 a.m. is the witching hour. Another thing I thought was interesting. They said the water had not entered the lungs. So part of, and of course, that makes me think of the Riley Strain story.
I know.
That's where my mind went immediately when you said that.
Because if you remember Riley Strain, who went missing in Nashville about a week after Rogers went missing, he was a very well publicized missing person case locally for us. And when his body eventually was found, he also did not have. He was found in the river, the Cumberland River, but he also did not have any water in the lungs. Which is not impossible. Mm-hmm. There is what they call dry drowning, which happens in about 8% of all drownings. Mm-hmm. And it's where your larynx will close up.
Right.
And basically cut off. You essentially suffocate, but the water never actually enters the lungs. So you can already predict if this actually goes to trial, that will be her defense. Part of it is that, well, water did not enter the lungs. She could be in that 8% of drowning victims that has a dry drowning. Of course, the prosecution will say water didn't enter the lungs because she was suffocated prior. Mm-hmm. But still, just kind of anticipating what might happen there. Hard to imagine that was premeditated because she would know. So very, very interesting.
Crochet
case.
has a pro tip for us. They say always decorate in 3s, candles, collectibles, flowers. They taught us that it's more pleasing to the eye. Well, cool.
Yes. Should always like tabletops, arrangements, always in 3s.
And Angel Wings, I agree with you.
Yes. I think there's something else to the Riley Strain story too. If you haven't heard on that one, by the way, the mother is suing the fraternity brothers.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. That happened a while ago though.
Yeah. But that'll take.
And Lisa says Riley's mother was a force for her son. Absolutely.
He was. They were here every day. They didn't leave the Nashville area. They were on the news. It was very apparent that they were their biggest advocate for their son.
Absolutely. All right. Next story.
Yeah. So this is one I doubt you know about.
Okay.
I'm going to guess you do not.
You always love to do this to me.
I do. So this is tragic, of course, but police investigating death of Maine paddleboarder as a homicide after discovery of a body. So I'm going to read, this is from the AP. I'm going to read directly from the article here. Police in Maine are investigating the death of paddleboarder near a campground in rural Maine as a homicide and asking the public for help finding the killer. The body of Sunshine Stewart, 48, of Tennants Harbor, Maine, was found Thursday on Crawford Pond in Union. The manner of death was determined to be a homicide, though the cause of death is not being released to the public yet, Maine State Police said in a statement. Police have asked that anyone who may have seen Stewart paddleboarding on July 2nd between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. near 100 Acre Island on Crawford Pond contact them. Maine State Police said in a Wednesday evening statement, it remains steadfast in our efforts to investigate the killing. Stewart lived about a half hour from the pond, which is a popular summer destination, about 15 miles from the scenic coastal areas of the state's mid-coast region. Friends and family who gathered at Stewart's home on Wednesday declined to comment. I'm going to pull her up here. So there's Sunny, as she was known. And so here, this is from Fox News. They are asking for help, but they're not giving details of the murder. They're not really talking a lot other than, what I had read there. So apparently this has ignited fear in the local community because there is a bit of paranoia, they say, surrounding the possibility of a serial killer lurking within the New England region. And there have been several unexplained deaths that have occurred in that area. So this says that at least 13 bodies have been discovered throughout Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Maine since March of 2025, with the majority found in wooded or remote areas. Last month, the body of 21-year-old Adriana Suazo was found in a wooded area in Milton, Massachusetts, according to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office. Following an investigation by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, authorities announced that Suazo's remains showed no signs of trauma, with her cause of death still waiting to be determined. So, despite this string of victims found throughout the region, authorities are urging the public to remain calm as officials investigate the circumstances surrounding Stewart's death.
I think it sounds very serial-like, don't you?
Could be. I haven't looked at all of these.
That's a lot of bodies in a small geographic area.
It really, really is.
Yeah. So I haven't looked at all 13 of these, but if you can't see the map, it's pretty close together. It's Framingham, Plymouth, Taunton, Pawtucket, Foster, Killingly, Groton, Norwalk, New Haven, Rocky Hill, Springfield. These look like,
those
less than a day's drive away from each other.
Oh, probably even much less than that. They probably are all within a couple hours because that area is very small.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 hours max.
Yeah. So I don't know. This may be.
Wow.
I'm sure people up there are terrified. Actually, especially this is the time of year people are out doing the hiking and the paddle boarding and kayaking and all that kind of stuff. And if there is someone targeting these people,
how similar were the circumstances? That would be do they have anything in common?
I have not looked at all of that. Here's a link to this. New England serial killer fears addressed by Massachusetts District Attorney after the 8th body being discovered.
That's a lot.
You do it.
I was pulling up. It looks like I got to join.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not joining. But anyway, so I don't know. I hadn't looked into all the other 13.
This is kind of interesting. UA Crimson said, speaking of unexplained deaths and Riley Strain, there was a very suspicious death where someone went swimming and their body was found days later where Riley was found. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one.
Be interesting to look into, though.
Swimming. Yeah, I think the thing for Riley, for me, and there's a lot of stuff around him. The thing for me was always just the blue jeans and the boots coming off, but his boxer shorts stay on.
Bothers me.
But and then his debit card being found. I mean, those things don't come out very easily. Especially if he had a wallet. And where was his wallet?
Right.
I don't think they found a wallet. I think they just a YouTuber or it was a TikTok person.
It was a TikTok person, yeah.
And it wasn't like right by the water. It was pretty
It
far
was on
up
the
bank.
rocks. It was on the
Yeah.
bank of the rocks. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it just all sounds very weird.
My intuition on that is somebody having his wallet, going through it and tossing what they don't want to use
Mhm.
and keeping the cash and whatever else,
Right.
That's kind of my gut instinct on something like that.
Crochet says the debit card might have been loose in his pocket. That's definitely possible. I know many men who
Yes.
do that, who stick debit cards and
Do you?
yeah, I know one sitting next to me.
You know anybody that ever does stuff
I
like
know
that?
stuff. I know someone who's like, I don't know where my debit card is. Oh, it's in my
It's
pocket.
in my shirt pocket or something crazy. Yeah.
UA Crimson says his wallet was never recovered. I didn't think it was.
No, and so
It could have been in his shirt pocket too. I know guys who do that too. Wow.
And I know people that tried to explain away the blue jeans stuff and the boots. I get it.
The
I
wet
can
blue
understand-
jeans kill me.
I can understand boots coming off in the water, one or two. The blue jeans, though, they just suck up to you like when they're soaking wet. You can't get those off.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm with you on that too. So anyway, this may be something to follow. 13 people. Maybe some of these are connected. Maybe they're not at all.
Mhm.
I don't know, but that's. I'm probably gonna spend a little of my free time just digging on some of these later on and see what looks like, if they looks like these are similar, if there's a pattern. But that'll take a little time. But anyway, so this was, of course, tragic for Sonny. And maybe just kind of the short-term takeaway is I worry about people when they go do nature stuff alone.
Right.
Shouldn't do nature stuff alone.
Yeah, I just saw
You just
a really sad thing about a lady that was on, I think it was a Norwegian cruise to Alaska. She was a professor at the University of Louisville, and she did not make it back when the ship was sailing off. This was just a few days ago. And
What port?
I will have to look. But anyway, they found her body. She had been hiking, and she had passed away.
Natural causes passed away?
They think they're doing testing.
Autopsy, yeah. Right. So you have a heart attack on a hike and you're alone and,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Well, I went on the Norwegian, right, Anthony? I went on the
Yeah.
Norwegian Alaskan cruise with a group of people, and I almost didn't make it back to the ship.
Oh, really?
I mean, within probably 15 minutes. I had started walking towards this I was in was it Ketchikan? I think I was in Ketchikan. And I was walking towards, I don't know if I've ever told you this story. I was walking towards the Totem Pole Museum, or like not museum. It was it's an outdoor thing, but it was a bunch of totem poles all together. It was very cool.
Uh-huh.
Hers was in Juneau, and she was Maritas Buenafi, 62, University of Kentucky healthcare physician from Louisville. She was on the Norwegian Bliss. They lost contact with her on July 1st after she disembarked the ship near Juneau to hike the popular Mount Roberts Trail. Over the following days, Alaska State Troopers, local police, K9 found her on July 3rd. Rescue crews located her body near the Mount Roberts hiking trail.
But it was natural causes. It wasn't foul play.
I'm looking to see if they have a cause of death, but her family has made a statement. Let's see. They say they think it was an accident.
It's terrible either way. But
Yeah, it is.
I'm just, I'm hoping she didn't have, there wasn't foul play, I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't think so, but it was a weird situation. She was on but again, she was on a solo hike. She went alone.
Right.
So, if you're a traveler, don't do anything like that, or you are a runner or anything. Don't go alone.
I used to go on the greenways all the time by myself when I was a runner. All
Yeah.
the time. The worst thing that happened to me though is that I ran across a snake, but that is the fastest I'd ever run on my time. So I did. Do you remember me telling you that?
Yeah.
A snake was on my path, and that I beat my record.
I bet you did.
I hate snakes. Cannot stand them.
I do not doubt.
She was
doubt
a
that at
very
all.
healthy person. So she has been sent to a medical examiner for, to see what
Will
caused
you
it.
keep an eye on that one? Because I'm
I
very
will.
interested in
I
it.
will. I will,
And
because
and
I
the
thought it was interesting.
Is the Bliss the one I went? I don't think the Bliss is a smaller ship. I think I went on a larger one. Do you remember what I went on?
No, but the Bliss is a good one. It's a good one though. The Norwegian Bliss.
I think it's a smaller one though of the ones that go to Alaska. I'm pretty sure. But anyway,
Just want to thank Just River P2 for becoming
Aw.
a member. Thank you so much, Just River. We
Thank you.
appreciate the support that way.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for that.
And I see our Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches is here too. Awesome.
Oh, good to see you, Dreaming. And yeah, Dreaming was the one that suggested the last story we did on Tuesday.
And it was a very good story.
Yeah,
It was a very good story. I think
fascinating.
you may end up doing just a regular old video on it.
Yeah, it would make a good just video
Like,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something we kind of want to start doing is more videos and live streams, but also doing some videos. So I don't know if you heard this one. So this is kind of interesting. I just thought it might be just interesting, a topic for discussion in a way because of how this played out. But this man, because I had different thoughts about it and feelings about it as I kind of went back and forth about how I felt. But this is Connor Smith. He's a country music artist. He's 24 years old, and I hadn't heard about the accident that happened back in June until this got posted today with the result. But he over in the Germantown area of Nashville.
Okay.
Back in June, he was driving. So it says here, this is from People Magazine, by the way. Smith, 24, was driving a Chevrolet Silverado pickup truck on June 8th when he hit Dorothy Dobbins, who was 77 years old, while she crossed the street inside a marked crosswalk. And she was taken to Vanderbilt Hospital and later passed away. So it wasn't determined that he was impaired, drunk, distracted driving, anything like that. He literally apparently didn't stop properly and hit this lady. So of course they do an investigation and they have now charged him with a misdemeanor. So he will face a citation, likely looking at, a few $100s.
Wow.
In fines. And, he's a country artist.
I'm sorry. What was his name again?
Connor. I didn't know who.
There's
he was.
so many
Connor
new
Smith.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't had like any huge hits. Kind of had some TikTok stuff go viral. Got signed after that to one of the record labels in town.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess he has one that did pretty well on the charts in the United Kingdom. So kind of like an up and comer type of country music artist.
Yeah. Lisa says did not yield to a pedestrian in the crosswalk allegedly. You wouldn't believe how many times we've seen that stuff.
I'd actually heard about this.
Yeah, we've seen people not yield to pedestrians a lot. But there are also in Nashville, it's so busy. There are a lot of pedestrians that think it's okay to cross, when it's not their turn. So we see that too.
Yeah. So
we actually told Middle E in New York, we're like, do not even consider crossing a street without the light in New York.
So it's just a tragic thing. And then a lot of the online discussion I was seeing was a lot of people were very upset about it, thinking, well, you take a human life and you basically pay a couple $100 and that's the penalty. And that was kind of my initial gut feeling too. That maybe it should be a manslaughter, something along those lines. But then I don't know, as because I was thinking at first, okay, so this guy's got connections to the music industry. That's why he got out of this.
Right.
Because we're Nashville, right? Mm-hmm. So that was my first thought. But then people were kind of citing other cases similar. And this is he didn't seem to have gotten special treatment when other people have.
Oh, so you checked into the other things. Okay.
To see if he had gotten kind of like the celebrity treatment there. But apparently not. If you get in a similar type of accident, unless you're drunk or you're on your phone or something else where it looks like negligence, if it's determined to be a simple accident, this seems to be he got fair treatment based on other cases like this, where they basically get fines. So I don't know. I kind of didn't know what I thought about that in a way. Of course, her family, they can sue him civilly. and probably get a judgment or a payout of some kind. But
I can't
what do you
stand
think?
those.
How do you feel about that? Do you think
I
that
don't think that's fair.
you think there should be some
What
higher consequence?
was she walking against the light? What were there other people walking at the same time? I mean, a lot of it depends on the situation. If somebody's walking against the light and a person sees a green light and that person darts out in front of them, that's different than someone doing it and they're stopped and they don't have the right of way. I mean, there's a difference.
One of the things they said was that there was a tree blocking his view, and they've actually removed the tree and put up more signs.
Where at
and
in Germantown exactly? Do we know?
Well, and
'Cause
Lisa,
I would like to envision it a
she
little
said
bit.
she was walking her dog. Did the dog get hit as well? I mean,
I don't know. I didn't read that.
Yeah, Lisa B always said that. I don't know. I was just asking if she knew.
Of course, a 77-year-old woman probably didn't move dart.
And UA Crimson said he was supposed to have yielded. So I mean, obviously she was in the crosswalk at the time that she was supposed to be.
And even if you're not in the crosswalk in Nashville, pedestrians have the right of way no matter the circumstance.
And the dog wasn't
Supposedly.
hit. She said, UA Crimson said the dog was not hit.
Okay.
Well, that's odd. You would think, if leashes aren't long,
Right?
You would think if somebody got hit with a car, it sounds to me like it could be more of an accident than anything.
Hi, Astrology for Mystics with Jen. It's nice to see you. And I agree, it's an unfortunate situation. No matter which way you look at it. I can't stand those things. What am I trying to say? It was a scooter, right? Am I crazy?
A scooter.
Did I mishear you?
Oh, was she in a scooter?
No. Did he hit her with a car?
A truck. He was driving a
I
Silverado.
totally missed that. I thought you said a scooter. And I kept my whole mind. I was like, how did that happen? That's what was going on in my mind.
One of those little scooters downtown.
Yeah, because I hate those things. Maybe it's just because I am prejudiced against those scooters. I hate.
Did he know that he hit her? Well, didn't he leave the scene? I mean, he didn't even know he hit her.
No, I don't think he left.
Did he not? Okay.
No, I think he tried to help her. Actually, is what I read.
It says dog ran off. That's how they discovered Dot allegedly.
Oh my stars! That's terrible.
No, I think he tried to help her.
I completely missed that.
Well, then,
then it was third. It was 3rd and Van Buren. I'm trying to think where Van Buren is.
She crossed the street.
So
let me look at it on the
marked
map.
Crosswalk. So she was inside the marked crosswalk.
Yeah, and so since then they have better marked a crosswalk, put up more signs, and they removed the tree.
It sounds like to me there were some obstruction issues, and it was a terrible accident. So in that circumstance, I don't think someone has to, be held accountable as far as legally, because I'm sure if he stopped and tried to help her,
not exactly. It's like the edge of Germantown, not exact, and it's on a road that's a little bit. If you want me to show it.
I know I don't know what the law is and if that varies by state. But it depends. I think, I know here bikers get hit all the time because I live near a bike trail and it's a huge bike trail. And there are bikers that get hit all the time because they drive out in front of cars. And
we get that.
I mean, that happens a lot.
People act like they're invincible.
Okay. So this is 3rd and Van Buren, but this is the edge of Germantown. So this is the road I was thinking. This road right here is a road where cars are traveling fast. You can tell, or faster.
Well, there's a stop sign right there.
I know, but there's a double yellow up here. If you can imagine, it was towards where therapy was. If you go down this road, there's a back way to therapy.
Are we on the corner she got hit?
Yes.
Can you kind of give a 360 there so we can kind of see what?
So I don't know which street 3rd and Van Buren.
I'm just trying to see how impaired the vision would have been.
Not very.
I
maybe that tree.
Right where this one.
They said they removed a tree, and of course this is probably from a few years ago, so that tree might have been bigger.
I mean,
now.
It doesn't look like it's.
It'd have to be that tree,
right?
Looks pretty clear.
Yeah.
It says pedestrians don't always have the right of way, but they often do, depending on the situation and the local laws. But when pedestrians do have the right of way, is typically in most U.S. states, drivers must yield to pedestrians in marked crosswalks. So it sounds like she was in a marked crosswalk. The crosswalks are, if they're like they are there, they're not very clear.
Right.
I mean,
well,
you can
this is
barely
from,
see
let
them.
me see what year it's from.
You're right. That isn't very well marked there, is it?
Actually, this is from April 2025, guys.
So I mean, it's pretty sketch. I mean, look at each direction. You can barely see half the crosswalk.
Well, heck, they
Right.
could sue this lady's family could probably sue the city.
Yep.
Yeah, look at
These
that one.
crosswalks
if
are
that's their
terrible.
idea of a
That one.
crosswalk.
These crosswalks are awful.
You can't see that one at all.
Yeah, I don't know which way she was going, but there's no crosswalk marked well there.
I'm going to guess he was coming this way. Can you see my mouse?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess he was coming from this way because it's kind of like there's a small hill there
Yeah,
and maybe visibility wasn't as good. That's my guess. I don't
that's
know.
terrible.
And it sounds like
Because the visibility here is fine. And the visibility here is fine.
Well,
Yeah,
they
and
said
the-
they removed
and-
the tree because of the accident. So it's the only tree.
Could
is
it be
the
this one though?
Boy, that's really far off the road, though.
no,
Yeah.
it's too far away.
It's
It
gotta-
has to be,
it's
maybe
gotta
this
be
one?
gotta be this one, and it was too big.
Or this one? This one
but that's
is
not-
kind of protruding out into the street a bit.
Yeah, but that's not near the crosswalk. That have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. I don't know.
So it's got to be that tree.
Yeah. But I mean, this doesn't look like it would obstruct your view.
Well, I mean, if he was turning left
I
for a
don't know.
moment, it might have obstructed. I mean, not much.
I can't see anything
Seems like
else
they're
that
kinda
would
making it-
obstruct at all.
Yeah, it sounds like that there are circumstances where they don't have the right of way, but if they're in a crosswalk and they're walking on the lot, but look, there's no signals there. There's no crosswalk signals that I see at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So she would just have to be entering the roadway in the
Yeah.
crosswalk, but there's obviously no signals.
Well, anyway,
Well,
I'll
that's
pull it
interesting.
down.
I just thought that was kind of interesting, just because especially when I'm looking at something and I go into it with one feeling and I come away another. Just thought it might be an interesting.
Yeah.
And thank you for sending us that
Story.
address. I appreciate it.
But that's awful.
That
for
helps
her.
a bunch.
And Crimson said she was heading to a dog park with her dog. That's so sad.
It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I have 5 free memberships left. How about we
Oh, you
give
do?
out
Okay,
some
good.
memberships for the month? Or I have 5 left.
Then
And if I don't do it, I'll forget and then nobody gets them. So I will do that
And
real
then
quick.
we'll do-
Well, I'm sure you'd like to have a water break or something.
yeah, go ahead. And then when you're ready, we'll queue up our final segment.
Okay. Oh, okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We can't stay all day, unfortunately, because we've got to do some work.
Well, we're actually hitting our goal of keeping this at about an hour to an hour and a half.
That's our goal, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. Okay. Why is it? Oh. All right. I've got 5 memberships. Here they go, guys. Good luck.
Let's see who gets them. I'm gonna get back to my.
I saw
Roxy
our name.
R, congratulations. Carla, congratulations. Debbie Durden, congratulations. Tor, congratulations. Sweetsy, congratulations. Oh, good morning, Troopers Mom. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Hope you
Troopers
are
Mom.
fine as well. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up on your way in. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. 119. That's good. So you want to play? We'll
Oh,
do
do
our
you want
last
me to get
segment?
ready for
Yeah,
that? Okay, hold
Whenever
on
you're
one
ready.
second. I'm not quite ready because it's been a while.
I
Since
saw that Mr. East Crimecast gifted 5 memberships. I thought we got gifted the membership for a second because I saw the green. I was like, oh,
You
it's
get,
us.
you get to be 5 members of
Yeah.
your own.
It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, wait. I'm not quite ready. So could you talk to people for a minute?
Sure.
Sorry. I thought I had that loaded and I do not. Hold on. It'll take me a minute. Let's see.
I was trying to think if there's anything else I was gonna. The man in her body they found in Turks and Caicos. I just checked it this morning to see if they
Yeah,
had
they do.
identified. They still no identification on that, so we don't know if it. I feel like very very heavily that it's the man that was missing, Bryan. But we'll give an update on that once we get the information. But it's still no identification has been made.
Yeah, I was thinking we were going to be able to confirm that one. Also, so I looked that up. If you don't know what we mean, there was a 51-year-old. What was his name? Do you recall?
Bryan
Swinson or something like that.
I can look it up.
Oh, Ivy League. That's very sweet. Ivy League says, the ease, it makes my heart smile when I catch you guys live. Well, we're happy you're here. Thank you. Congratulations to all the new members, too.
Bryan Terrence.
Sorry.
It was Bryan Terrence. He was a CEO of a tech company and went missing in the middle of the night in Turks.
Terrible.
He left his rental property in the middle of the night on a walk. And who does that? Like
3:30.
Hi there, sweet Melissa. Nice to see you.
3:30 in the morning. There's your threes again.
Yeah, except he actually did leave at 3:30.
Yeah.
But, they did say that the same day they found him, a few hours earlier or later, they had found another body, but they don't believe it's connected.
Well, how could it not be connected?
I don't know.
Well,
the investigators
makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm not going to Turks and Caicos anytime soon.
Well, like I mentioned, though, that area is a very good area, and a lot of people vacation there, own homes in that area. It's not a dangerous area at all.
Yeah.
Okay, UA was telling us that we should look up that story. About the body they found in Cumberland River north of Nashville.
Yeah, I'll write it down. I don't remember that one. I remember there was the guy that was found 8 days later that had the maroon colored shirt with like a panther tattoo because they briefly thought it was Riley, and it turned out obviously be a Hispanic male that was like 30 years old or something.
And people from Nashville can attest to this. There's always bodies coming out of the Cumberland.
Yeah, this is something we say all the time because until we started getting into
we had no idea
stories. I had no idea how often this kind of stuff happened, but there's just so much danger around water. People go fishing and they fall in or go for a swim and they get swept away. You have to respect the water.
Oh, hi, Betsy Mathis.
This is
that's okay. We're kind of just chit chatting right now. She says, way off subject. What's the status of Megan Boswell? I believe it's the sentencing is going to be in September.
Yeah. So we will
definitely be doing that live.
Yeah. Because it was supposed to have been earlier and got delayed for whatever reason.
Well, what's odd about this situation too, that this young man that jumped in the Cumberland was was 23, very young. He was spotted on June 23rd of this year. Refinery workers spotted him in the Cumberland River near the Tennessee State University refinery. His name was, it looks like Javieris Higgins, 23, from Tiptonville. A witness saw him jump into the river on the preceding Friday and not resurface, which triggered a search operation.
Well, you don't go jumping in the Cumberland River.
Yeah, it's a fast-moving river.
That's not one to play around in, actually.
No.
It's much more treacherous than it looks.
Right. I get
nervous. If he jumped in willingly, that doesn't surprise me. He got swept away.
They said that they don't suspect foul play because a witness saw him jump in.
And Trooper's mom was asking about the leg that they found. There's not an update at this time. They said it could take weeks or months or years to get it figured out.
Yeah, we were talking about that at the beginning of this, actually. So we that's what they said, because can't,
right.
So may not ever know, actually. Astrology for Mystics with Jen says, leaving the bars downtown in a blackout from drinking too much will lead to arrest for public intoxication or much worse. River is all around downtown.
Well, tell them about something interesting, though, about the fencing now.
Yeah, they've put up that chain link fencing all down that river's edge now because of the Riley situation.
All right. I am ready when you are. Okay, so let me make sure, though. Hey, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was doing the right. Okay. This is a new segment we're doing.
New segment.
We're going to do different segments and see which ones stick and which ones you guys like.
Which ones we enjoy.
Yeah. All right. So this, I have a video for it. So if you get shocked by loud noises, go ahead and turn your speaker down now.
I don't even remember what
it's been so long since I made it.
Yeah. Forgot. So this is the poor judgment segment is what we are getting into. Because that's kind of been the theme of a lot of our
A lot of our
a
stuff.
lot of our discussions.
Thank you,
So-
Real Me Too.
So you don't know this one. I don't think either one of you know this one.
Okay.
Florida man hijacks Key West sightseeing train for meth-fueled joyride on his birthday. And
What?
picks up passengers.
And Zelensky's in the picture, so I'm like,
You're gonna have to make this bigger. I cannot stand that you don't make these bigger.
I don't know how to do it.
can he just like spread like on the screen? Will that make it bigger?
He doesn't have a trackpad. He has a mouse, and his mouse doesn't let him do it. But if you send me the link, I can do it. Can you send me the link?
Oh, that's
Or just,
funny.
let me just see the link. I can find it. What channel is it?
He was
New York
celebrating his 57th birthday.
Yeah, that's a big part of the story here. So here, I'm just going to read directly from the New York Post here. All aboard the crazy train. A man in Florida was arrested on his birthday Friday after authorities caught him absconding with a trackless sightseeing train and even picking up passengers while high on meth.
Okay, I've got
Oh
him.
my gosh.
Jonathan Patrick Winslow was celebrating his 57th trip around the sun on a raucous Independence Day when he turned up at the Contour train depot in Key West and allegedly weaseled his way into conducting one of their vehicles.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. My screen's much bigger.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know why
it's
yours
looking-
is so tiny.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
He
so
looks scary.
So, yeah, your first. So Winslow allegedly bamboozled a well-meaning employee into forking over the keys after claiming he used to work at the company years prior and requesting a tour of the train, according to an arrest report obtained by WPLG. So I know they say the employee was well-meaning, but his first clue should have been this guy. Just looking at
Yes.
that this was not somebody you hand. So there's your poor judgment moment number one, right?
I guess that guy lost his job.
I guess so. I mean, he says well-meaning, so I don't know. But poor judgment to hand the keys of anything to that guy. The confused employee was left in the dust when Winslow allegedly sped away, thinking that surely the stranger must have had permission to take the train. He did not have permission to take the train, police said. Officers responded to the depot when the stolen train was reported. It could be tracked via GPS, but was apparently already downtown. Can you
What, you scroll
can you
up?
scroll? Do you have a picture of the train on your report down at the bottom? Can you scroll down to that yellow picture?
Is
It's
that
about-
him being arrested?
No, further down. The bright yellow. So
That's what he was in?
that's what he was in. Authorities had a
Oh my
general
gosh.
had a general idea of who they were looking for almost immediately, as Winslow had left his Kia still running in the parking lot of the depot, blasting rock music, according to an arrest report. So, having a great birthday, blasting the music, kept the car running. I'll be right back as soon as I go for a little joyride in the train.
That's
All
magnificent.
messed up and nowhere to go.
Right. Police were able to nab Winslow and the train was intact. He'd somehow cajoled two oblivious strangers into joining him for the ride, authorities
Oh my
said.
gosh.
So this guy pulls up in a train with that crazed look and the hair and
The
all
hair.
aboard the crazy train.
It looks like the smoke's coming out from the background with the clouds. It
All
looks
right.
like-
I was just trying a different, since we're so early in the morning, I was trying a different background.
Daytime
I am,
clouds.
Mhm.
I am hoping that one of those two passengers has recorded the moment.
Oh,
somewhere.
that would be amazing.
Hopefully that's out there. Winslow exhibited
Yeah.
rapid speech and appeared
A
excited.
birthday to remember.
Right. So he did appear excited. They say even when police told him about the charges he'd face, he claimed he only borrowed the train. Again, insisted he used to work for the company, and noted that today is my birthday, according to the report.
Well, I mean,
So
I guess you don't get any laws enforced on your birthday. So
if you want to scroll up to one of
Sorry.
the arrest pictures, right?
Sure.
Right. Like that's a.
Hi, wow, nice to see you.
Apparently, this is going to be his defense: is that it was his birthday.
Okay, let me scroll up. This is magnificent.
Winslow was
Okay, hold
carted
on.
off to the county jail when he was being searched. A corrections deputy allegedly found a pipe hidden in his pocket.
Is it this one you want?
Either one.
Okay.
Winslow was carted off to the
I
county
kind of
jail.
wanted to see. There we go. Is that?
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Okay.
Winslow was carted off to the county jail. When he was being searched, a corrections deputy allegedly found a hidden pipe in his pocket. Winslow tried to insist that it was a weed pipe, but authorities said it was the different kind of pipe. A short-lived conductor faces charges for burglary, grand theft auto, and possession of drug paraphernalia. So that is our poor judgment. So
I'll play the video again. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Play the video.
No, go ahead. This is our poor judgment segment for the week. Finish.
Yeah. So this is our poor judgment segment of the week, because you've got poor judgment in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the employee that handed over the keys to this guy.
Right.
I mean, he looks like he's covered in who knows what.
It's very funny. I'm sorry.
It is. And then you've got the poor judgment of the people that got on the train with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you've got this guy's poor judgment on his birthday. I guess he thought he had some kind of immunity clause for any kind of grand theft auto. So there is and of course, he is a Florida man.
Yes.
So
there's just all those things.
In
all
Key
those
West.
things.
Key West is kind of a factor as well, I think.
Dreaming says, I love this new section, LOL. Yeah, we just, we talk about so many just terrible things. And we thought, there are definitely funny, interesting crimes that happen that we could talk about. That might be fun.
So,
oh, that's funny.
He's a little unkept.
Did they say all aboard before he left?
Choo choo, choo choo. I mean,
he's got confusion and delay written all over his face.
He's
he's covered. Crimson said he's covered in regret. He is.
That is so funny. Oh, my stars.
I don't know.
But Rosebud, this is my favorite comment so far.
Choo choo, Charlie.
I love it.
I don't even know if he's going to regret it. It might be worth the penalties he's going to face just for the joyride.
It'll probably be. I don't know.
Grand theft auto though is bad.
Yeah,
he might actually face some consequences.
Is that but is that an automobile?
It would be considered transportation, right? But here's my question: did he actually work for the company before, or is he just making that part up?
I don't know.
Because he said he used to work for the company.
That's what he claimed.
Well, that would explain them giving him the keys. Right?
Yeah, maybe he actually worked for them.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard those things could be to drive. But
right. Dreaming in Blue Sky says, so who has worse judgment, him or the passengers that made the decision to join him?
At least he's got the excuse of
at
being
least
high
they're
out
not
of his
going to get
mind.
arrested.
Yeah, I hope one of them.
Can you imagine?
Oh, this is weird.
This tour guide is driving erratically.
I wonder
the
if
police
he was
cars
like,
come up with the sirens behind you in the train. Hopefully there was a chase. And hopefully the chase was caught. Also
well, the
somewhere.
thing probably can't go more than 30 miles an hour.
Right?
So I mean, there's no way it can go that fast.
Oh my god!
I mean, there's no way.
You guys are making me laugh today.
Hopefully somebody pulled out a cell phone somewhere and has that chase, because that is fun.
It's the slowest police chase in history.
I've seen one with like a tractor before and a tank. So there's some pretty slow.
I've seen some golf
chases.
cart ones.
Golf carts.
Oh my god!
A lawnmower. I saw a guy got pulled over in a lawnmower one time.
Maybe we should make that a segment, like unusual vehicles to be arrested.
Well, I think we'll have plenty to do in this poor judgment segment. I think too. We could.
And please feel free to email us your poor judgment if you find anything. I'll put our email in chat.
I thought this was an obvious candidate when I came across this one today.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyway, we'll
Crochet said she works at a landfill, and they had a guy jump on a $500,000 dozer one time. They're not going very far with that either. I mean,
that might be the one I saw. I think I might have seen that. I think I may have seen a chase with a dozer like that from a landfill. Actually, yeah, maybe it's the same one.
Nicey Marie thinks they were singing "Bad Boys, Bad Boys."
What you gonna do?
It was totally. He didn't charge them, I suppose. Did he charge a fare to get in the train? Was he?
Oh, Rosebud, I know who Sir Topham Hat is.
Oh my gosh, her son.
My son was a Thomas the Tank Engine fanatic.
Everything okay?
We're fine, but I do have to go. Actually,
yeah, you do.
Anyway, so thank you for joining us here today.
I wanted to play the going out because I worked so hard on that video. Let me play it.
Oh yeah.
But yes, Sir Topham had it. You know who Sir Topham had is, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine.
That's right. We're gonna have some other segments too.
I mean, that guy's face could be put on that little cartoon you just made.
Right.
The face.
That is quite a look there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think we are going to wrap it up for today, friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our Hope in the Shadows for 7 months. Thanks, Just River P2 for becoming a new member, and welcome to all of our other new members that received gifted memberships. Oh, good, Angel Wings. That's great. That's kind of how that's what we envisioned, is to have a little fun. You know, not everything has to be so serious, right?
So thank you so much. That was kind of the goal. Have a little laugh on the way out and kind of the darker stuff we talk about. So thank you for joining us, and we will be back soon, at least Tuesday night for sure. We're kind of debating which deep dive we're going to do Tuesday night. There's a lot of cases we've been following regularly that have a lot of developments, and we're not really sure which one we're going to do.
You never know when something exciting is going to happen.
Right. Yes. Everyone have a great Friday. And it's been fun joining or being with you guys this morning. If you do like that, we went so early today and you like that we're doing this early, please let us know in the comments after the video so that we can consider doing this earlier from now on.
Yeah. So this is a better time.
If it's a better time for everybody.
Yeah.
And happy birthday Sunday, Rosebud.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Let me give you a quick birthday thing real quick. Just real quick. Let's see. What can I do? I will give you a confetti burst.
Yay.
And some balloons. Well, you are a valued member of our community, and we appreciate you so much.
And Just River said that their birthday is Sunday as well.
Oh my gosh.
So
happy birthday to you as well. That's awesome. And we are going to do a members trivia night coming up soon. And I think our theme is going to be early sitcoms.
And Angel's Wings was wanting to know if we know what time on Tuesday yet. We plan on Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we have a time yet.
Wow, says Rosebud, do you get a free pass on? So go grab yourself a train on Sunday and have a blast.
That's awesome.
Leave your rock music playing in the car while it's running, and
don't forget your math.
Go have a better time than this guy had. If you can.
Yeah, you got to get out of it.
I don't know if it's possible. This guy had a pretty good day.
Yes.
Till the end.
Well, awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna let's see. Yes, I've got everything ready to end.
Debbie, I can't even imagine what we look like on a big screen. I don't want to know.
No. I've been trying to figure out how to get further and further away from the camera. Oh, let's see. All right. You guys have a great Friday, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Intelligent, keeping the missing relevant with Mr. E, Mrs. E. Let's not forget the sweet